Hello and welcome to my new Zwift channel. This is Paige. I am hoping to get more videos of women racing. This is not a women's race, but trying to get more females to have some stream options. Hopefully getting some live streaming up soon. But right now just recording my races and then trying a commentary overlay. Alright, so this is my first race. I've done a few now and just now getting to trying some editing and commentary on top. But this is my first race about a month ago that I tried recording. This is the stage 4 of Race the Worlds, which was during the World Championships in Glasgow. So, of course, all the courses on Zwift were from Scotland, and this was the crit course. I've done many races on this course so far. One of my favorite finishes, but today was one of those days where I could not finish with the pack, and that is okay. But fun race, lots of people just really pushing the front. Not really super punchy, but we'll just see how it goes. So far, so good. Normal start for me. Normally trying to push maybe like 350 coming out of the pen, holding that for a little bit to get up to speed, and then just slotting in. I love drafting. I will not go to the front unless absolutely necessary. So just trying to sit in, and as you can see, we already have an attack off the front. We aren't even half a mile in, and someone's just going for it. So we'll just kind of follow along and see how this race goes, and if there's anything I could have done better, or if surviving was just my only option. Alright, we are approaching the one climb in this course. It's, I guess, technically a QOM, but it's very short, but it's very punchy. Definitely one of my strengths, as long as I don't have to work too hard not up the climbs. And the start wasn't terrible. If I'm looking at my numbers now, if you look at the bottom, you can see now I'm starting to have to work. My numbers are in yellow and red. Earlier I was in quite a bit of green and blue, so that's not terrible. My heart rate looks pretty good. 160s is fine. So let's just see how this first climb goes. I've dropped my featherweight already because I'm pretty sure I'll reach the top right as it finishes up here. So as you can see, I like punching. I'm very happy to stand up and just get over it as fast as I can and try to connect to the wheels so that I don't have to keep going for a further distance. So I've already made a connection with draft, and I don't have to keep doing over 3 watts per kilogram, which are what the people 2 seconds behind me are having to do. I'm not a huge fan of the invisibility power-up, so I went ahead and just used it. There wasn't really a great place to use it between here and the finish line, where I will also get a power-up. So I just went ahead and used it before I forgot. Alright, we are regrouping. Looks like the majority of this group, maybe 20 people, are going to stick in at this point. This is the one of the few downhills in this race. I guess it's really the only downhill in this race where you can actually reach a super tuck speed. I'm about to hit 35 right there. Can hit 35 miles per hour. Of course, now with the new, I guess, pack dynamics, the way the drafting has worked, and that what they've changed is you can no longer super tuck if you are drafting and not on the front or by yourself. So if you're in the pack, you're either just coasting without the super tuck or you're having to work. Still not sure how I feel about that. Would love some feedback to see what other people are feeling about the massive groups no longer being able to super tuck down a hill. To me, it seems a lot harder to recover downhill. Normally I would be able to stop pedaling and just recover really easily and not lose contact, but now I'm like losing contact when I'm pedaling. So would love to hear any feedback in the comments of what you think. Alright, so we are about to finish the first lap, 1 out of 5 laps we will be doing total. As you can see, the lead-in was incredibly short. This is one of my favorite sprint finishes. I have some really epic finishes of just catching someone on the line in this sprint, and it's really fun for FTS. If you don't know what that is, fastest through the segment, meaning going from point A to point B the fastest that you can. So there's always some little dots that are lit up on the side of the road, and those begin a segment in Zwift, and of course the banner ends the segment. If it's a sprint segment, it is green. If it's a KOM or QOM, a climb, it is red. So yes, that sprint is one of my favorites to do for the fastest time. You sit behind everyone and then you just use the draft to shoot you through at the very end and get some really fast times. We are getting ready to approach the Clyde kicker. That's the one climb in this race once again for lap number 2. I was very fortunate in getting a feather almost every time through the start-finish banner. So I had a feather, I think, maybe all but one, if not all of these laps. I guess we'll find out as we continue to watch. So the feather helps you, basically it makes you lighter. It gives you a certain amount of pounds or kilograms, however you want to convert, off of your weight, making climbing easier. And there's someone off the front, but once again, I like to punch. I got my way up there and can now recover. Heart rate's at 177, so hopefully it'll come down. We will see if that's what actually happens, but I know people are going to really push this tempo to try and get rid of the people behind that did not make the climb in this pack and just make sure that they disconnect. Alright, still going pretty strong. You're going to see in a minute a name pop up on one of the racers. Right there, C. Whitek. That's a guy I race with locally in the Chicagoland area. He's a really strong cyclist on the velodrome. We have a velodrome in Northbrook, Illinois, and just so happened he was in this race. He also Zwifts a lot and is very strong, got a great engine, good punch in a sprint. So super fun to have a fellow local in this race, along with many from many different countries, all at the same time. So here's Chris currently asking if I'm going to attack or sprint. I have no energy to be able to text him back. We talk later. But there's never an attack for me. It's always a sprint in the finish. That's definitely my strength. I cannot hold on off the group. Definitely with this group of really strong racers, I'm just gonna hold on for as long as I can, and that will be my plan. Also, just noticing that there is someone named D. Andrews in this race with a YouTube tag. So I just found this exact race on a different YouTube channel. So check it out. This guy actually wins this race. So he's got a great video, I'm sure, to watch. Daniel Andrews. Look him up, Zwift. The race date was August 24th. So to see another perspective on this race with someone who made it all the way, check it out. So as you can see, this time over the top, there's quite a few people really moving to the front. I've also gotten a feather. I'm trying to remember if I used this feather before that climb again, because I know I will get another power up, but is it worth saving it for the climb? We will find out what I do and decide if that was the right choice or not. Looking now at the numbers, it looks like about 19 people are still in this group. It says 13th for me currently out of 29. Looking at the race results after the race, there were only 22 who finished, so not sure if 22 were there for the entire race or we had 29 and we had a few decide to stop early, but currently about 20 still in this group. Alright, I have dropped this featherweight. Interesting if that was the right place to do it. It's a very, very short little bump, but looking back, I probably was feeling pretty tired. My heart rate is not going below 174. That's getting a little high for just continuous on the flats for me. Not really recovering super well, so maybe I just wanted it to go ahead and use for a little bit of a boost, and we will see what happens as we're about to go through the start-finish line. Eventually, I hope to have a Zwift studio where people can come and enjoy Zwifting at a place and maybe race alongside next to people in a space where they can try out Zwift play, different trainers, things like that. So hopefully I can get a little bit of race coaching in as well. I did get another feather. That was nice. So I'll be able to have used the feather 2 times within this lap from the climb, but that's not always the case in this race. It was either just the feather or the invisibility, and it was definitely very nice to always get so many feathers. And as you can see, my heart rate has finally gone below 170. I've had some time in blue numbers, moving up just a little bit. People always tend to push up that very, very slight rise, just a little bit more than I expect. So probably just got caught relaxing and lost a few places and needed to push forward. As we come to the second to last climb in just a few moments, we will see what damage will be done. Alright, we are approaching the climb, the final part of the climb anyways, and I've already dropped my feather. As you can see, I'm hitting 400 watts. That definitely means I'm standing up. So I'm still standing at this point, trying to punch over the top. We've really gapped to these 3 in front of us, but I'm hoping to grab these wheels and settle in. This descent definitely has felt more tricky and hard as the race has gone on these 16.5 minutes. This little bump right here also felt hard, especially these last few laps, because as you can see, everyone who was slightly behind on the first hill, the actual QOM, kept pushing over the top and then had that downhill and had more speed with a bigger group coming up that second little rise, and really swarmed the people who came on the front earlier. So I think it's still beneficial for me to punch and be one of the early ones over the top, even though perhaps the people behind were getting a little bit more speed, just because I was able to calm my heart rate down just a tiny bit and recover down that hill without having to constantly chase. I always do much better punch, recover, as in like not pedaling, or very, very gentle pedaling. Alright, so we're still together. Oh, but it looks like we have lost quite a few people now. Perhaps, oh, yep, looks like about 17 of us have made this cut. So we've lost maybe 2 or 3 on that lap. And we are about to approach the start finish for the final lap. Alright, as we come around this final corner before the last lap, before I get dropped on the last climb, I should just talk about my team. I race for Revo. You can see that little tag next to my name, P1 on the right. Revo is an all-women's racing team. We currently have somewhere around 90 racers in our group, ranging from cats A through D. So we have someone representing all the categories, A, B, C, D. And we do racing, we host group rides. We have a wonderful group ride on Tuesday mornings for the US time. If you're in the UK, it's I think it's around noon, 1 o'clock, maybe 1 p.m. Great ride that we have there. We have couple hundred people turn out every week. Very consistent, very good group. We always stick together. Racers are awesome. I have really good teammates all over the US, Canada. We've got some in Europe and the UK. We always are very supportive of each other in real life rides, races, as well as Zwift. So come check out Revo if you are interested in a team. We are always happy to have guest racers. ZRL has begun, but always check out if we have anyone available for guest racing. We'd love to have you. Alright, we are approaching the Clyde Kicker one final time. As you can see, I received a invisibility power-up. I have a feeling I will use it here just because I'm going to get a new one at the top, and I would much rather come to the finish with a feather than that. Yes, there it goes. So I'm using my invisibility. I am curious, if I had had a feather, would this have played out differently? I'm probably standing up, but it's a little late. My friend Chris here has told me that he had a dropout right at the bottom of the hill, so poor guy's chasing with me, and I am currently done. Heart rate's a little high in the 180s. It's not as high as it could be, but I think I'm just feeling it today. So I'm gonna just really be done. Watts are under 100, but that's okay. I got another invisibility, so I'll just use it at some point and we'll just see how the finish goes. But I'm still pretty pleased with this race. Haven't raced a lot up till now, doing a lot of in real life crits, so didn't really race a ton in July and early August, so good race back, and you'll see in the next few races I'm going to have some really nice races, some good successes, good sprints, everything working out really well. Alright, last corner. Chris waited for me, and I just didn't have anything left, clearly. I'm trying to chase them down, but I am finished and just enjoying finishing this course. I will sprint again on the Champions Sprint. But thanks all for listening. I will come in, it looks like 16th, and I think I said something around 22 are the ones that end up finishing. All in all, a good race. Thanks for watching, and hope to have more content soon for you.